On the program today, we are so honored to be speaking with General Michael Langley. He's a commander of U.S. AFRICOM. We'll be telling you what that is. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, so for those of you that might not know what U.S. AFRICOM stands for, U.S. AFRICOM is the United States Africa Command, among 11 combatant commands of the United States Department of Defense. Interestingly enough, is headquartered in Kelly, Barak, Stuttgart, Germany, founded on the 1st of October 2007. We in 2025, this makes it 18 years since it's been founded. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments, any questions, and I'll respond gladly. That'll definitely help the channel. So yeah, what you waiting for? Click that like, click that subscribe, and let me carry on with the video.
Let's begin by understanding why you're here. There is Chiefs of Defense Forces Conference. Tell us about that and what role AFRICOM is playing.
Well, for U.S. AFRICOM, we yearly put on the Chief of Defense Conference. You know, when I first took command back in 2022, we had a conference in Rome. This conference is for the African Chiefs of Defense. It should be on the continent. It really opened things up to address issues, military issues, security issues, shared objectives of how to achieve security and stability across the continent. So that was a purpose. And now we're here in Kenya. Let's look at what we've been doing and let's select out what has been working, and let's get laser focus on being able to be straight with our partners that have been building capacity and shifting and sharing of a burden. So a number of partners have that capacity with other allies that collectively can still build that model. In West Africa, that are in the process of rebuilding this, but the model is effective when you take into account of the whole community that's been affected by terrorism.
So it's them taking that up for themselves. What does that look like, perhaps more specifically? Because
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, what's the rollout plan?
So basically, this dude don't never give no direct answer. Long story short, he claims that AFRICOM is in Africa for providing security. That's the common objective. So he says, right? So he says, let's look at what we've been doing, keep doing what's been working, and a whole bunch of nothing. So after Mr. Michael Langley, 4-star general, I guess that was the price they gave him for selling out. Yeah. Why they didn't give him 5-star? Maybe he has to complete his mission, which is trying to take out Traore, which will never happen though, because the ancestors got our boy, and you know the whole melanated mind, the melanated consciousness all around the world is in support of Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso, land of the upright man, land of Thomas Sankara, which is definitely walking in the footsteps of. We're not forgetting Assimi Goïta from Mali. That's the first one that actually took back their sovereignty by force. And it's not wrong in taking back our sovereignty by force, because it's the only way, to me, that we're going to take back our sovereignty as well, with the protection of our spiritual ancestors. Because it was by force. Let me just be real. It was by force they took our sovereignty, even our language, culture, and all that. So how you think you're going to get back your sovereignty by telling Massa, please give me back my land and please stop exploiting our precious and valuable resources? Also, we got Tiani from Niger. He's older than Assimi Goïta and Ibrahim Traore, but that man, he did a interview 3 hours, and the level of wisdom, intelligence, his experience, right, and the knowledge. He spoke even about ancient Kemet, yo. So it is what it is. So yeah, let me get back to the video. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the video and what was said.
Yeah. Yes, I met with, yes, I met with a number of ministers of defense and some presidents and chiefs of defense. And I said, here's the change of our approach. We're going to help you where we can. We do have different priorities, but we're still here for you. We still want you to lead it because you understand your consequences better than anyone. We don't prescript anything in AFRICOM. When I go and I call it the campaign of learning. And people thought, yeah, he's doing a campaign of learning in his first year of AFRICOM. No, I've been doing a campaign of learning throughout. When I sit down with MODs, chiefs of defense or presidents, I learn from them. I learn from them. They tell me what their approach is to terrorism. And I figure out, they tell me how AFRICOM can help.
Let's talk about countries taking on their own autonomy. This would be a good moment to ask about one of the countries that has taken its own autonomy, and that's Burkina Faso. Yeah. Your remarks recently at the Senate seem to suggest that he's diverting, General Traore, is diverting its 4 billion gold reserves to sustain his military rule rather than for public welfare. These remarks sparked widespread, condemnation across the continent. What did you mean by that statement?
Let me speak to Burkina Faso's sovereignty. They maintain their sovereignty. They make their decisions, how they use their resources. They make their decisions who their resources go to for military support. That's their sovereign right. But my cautionary tale was just from a military perspective. That was a Senate Armed Services Committee asking me a direct question. Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward, okay? But then when you look at the military part of it, knowing that that's the epicenter of global terrorism, it was my time to illuminate that this is probably their weakest point, and there needs to be sufficient resources going towards for the whole fight of terrorism in that country. But I wanted to illuminate that it's going in the wrong direction now. ISIS is getting stronger. JNIM is getting stronger. Al-Qaeda in the lands of the Maghreb is getting stronger in that country.
And do you think it's getting stronger after General Traore took over?
It has. Just look at the numbers of attacks. It really has, since 2022. I've been tracking this since I took command. No ill will towards him, but the decisions is their own. They're looking for other ways.
So you stand by that statement? Because there's been pressure on you to walk those statements back.
That's my statement. That's my assessment. That is getting worse. More needs to be done. Burkinabe people, and they're seeking refuge within their country. That threatens their sovereignty.
And that threatens America's interest?
Say again?
Does that then threaten America's interests?
Yes, thank you for asking that. Because especially ISIS, and of course in East Africa, is inextricably linked.
A seaplane. Wow. Yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Nothing is by accident. You know what I mean? The Black Revolutionary plane is taking flight. Yeah. Seaplane. So Langley keeps saying that since he took office, terrorism has been rising and rising, rising like an elevator, right? And it's like a broken record because he always keeps repeating it. Before it was 2% and it went up to 40%, right? It seems to me like he's saying without saying indirectly, like since he came in, terrorism has went up exponentially. So it seems to, and he keep talking about, oh, it's a learning campaign, and he's in concert. What's a concert? A concert is like a stage show. So these people, that's exactly what they're doing. You feel me? They just entertain us. The African people not looking for no concert on a learning camping thing, right? That will linger and take how many centuries before they get their sovereignty restored to them? Now we already know. Everybody knows already.
And what would America, perhaps Africa, be prepared to do? Would you be considering an ouster like we saw with Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? Because there's still many Africans who are yet to recover from that.
We do indications and warnings. There's a number of activities that we do, and we'll just go ahead and mention building institutional capacity. There's not going to be U.S. boots on the ground. Very, very small for exchange of ideas and training, exercises. We have the shared objectives because these same terrorist groups can threaten our homeland. So we're in concert. I was just an African lion over in Morocco. A number of countries working together.
Is Burkina Faso invited here today for this conference?
Yes. Yes. They were invited to African Lion in Morocco. Yes. Like I said, I was just saying. We're moving forward.
Okay.
We're moving forward because we have that shared goal of defeating terrorism. We're moving forward.
Okay.
We're moving forward because we have that shared goal of defeating terrorism.
The reaction out of the statements that you made about Burkina Faso were several African leaders feeling you are speaking on sovereignty issues that America shouldn't be. And as a result, there are those who see the role of Africa as less of a partner in, the war against, shared threats, as you mentioned, and more of a protector of Western or American economic interests that allows access to Africa's vast mineral resources, and as more of a paternalistic relationship than one of respect amongst peers. What would you respond to that?
I respond that there's others on the globe that do that. There's others on the globe that do that. I'm going to bring it up. We should even already know, okay? But I'm going to bring that up.
Okay.
We respect the sovereignty. We respect their decisions. We respect their decisions of who they choose as a security partner.
So he says that he does not take back his words, right? What he said about Ibrahim Traore, right? He's double speaking basically. One time he's saying that, yeah, they are sovereign country and we respect their sovereignty, right? And they're free to partner with who they want without saying the people, right? But we already know which countries he's talking about. Like this whole interview, he was doing his best to avoid mentioning these two countries. And we'll get to find out which two countries he's avoiding, right? Because at one point, that interviewer, she was like, okay, this dude been beaten around the bush. Let me just ask him straight up. Do y'all believe what Michael Langley is saying? Do you really think that AFRICOM is in Africa for a common purpose? And he said they have different priorities. The same objectives, but different priorities. Y'all know what a priority is, right?
So you're not concerned about China and Russia expanding their military and economic influence across the continent?
We are concerned about it, yes.
What about it concerns you?
Well, their influence. Their influence may not be looked upon as being a positive influence.
For who? For America or for Africa?
Well, for Africans.
Do you guys believe what this dude is saying? China and Russia. China and Russia. And he was like, he lies so much. Even when she asked him, was Burkina Faso invited? Yes, yes. Do you really think Ibrahim Traore was invited? Let me know in the comments.